slick that is.
What is happening, guys? Welcome to FPL&Chill, the show where we just take a step back from the dregs of game week after game week and we hang out with some of our favorite managers and just shoot the shit. This week, long awaited guest, it is Let's Talk FPL. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. Thanks for inviting me on. We have had this in the pipeline a few weeks now. I had to put it back for, I can't remember why, but we're here now, so that's good.
Yeah, and how have you been recently? How was your international break?
Yeah, it was good actually. Didn't really do a lot. I think people like think that I just constantly got FPL on the brain every single day, but I kind of completely zone out of it when I'm not creating content during the international break. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. Always enjoy doing forced breaks now.
I think it's the same for most content creators, isn't it? You just kind of, it's a time to be able to just not have to deal with it. So you take that as most as you can. It's kind of like the sun in Scotland. Like as soon as it's out, you just taps off. That's it, and you go. So it's been quite nice. I feel like everyone's the same. But I thought we'll get some icebreaker questions out of the way, and you were quite worried about these actually when I messaged
I know.
you.
I don't know what's coming.
It's funny when I talk to people, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to be on the show or whatever?" It's always like, "No," because I watched you absolutely research the shit out of the other guys, and I don't want you to. I'm scared of what I'll find.
Oh god.
But it's all stuff that you guys have tweeted, so it's fair
Okay.
game. So the name of the show is FPL&Chill, which comes after Netflix and Chill, which is the young youth Tinder phrase. So how did you meet your missus?
It's a very romantic story.
Oh, I love it.
We used to work together,
Uh-huh.
and it was a Christmas bar called 12 Pubs of Christmas,
In a pub.
and I was hammered basically, and so was she.
Uh-huh.
And there was mistletoe, and that was it basically. So we used to work together, and it was like a work event basically.
Right. What were
And
you working as? What were you working as? You don't have to say
uh,
specifics, just
yeah, no, it was like customer service
right, okay.
stuff basically. Nothing too interesting.
That's fair.
And she was a manager, although not my manager. Um,
Oh yeah, getting in with the boss.
so yeah,
That's
that's basically what happened. There was a bit of mistletoe, a lot of pints, and then yeah, kind of went from there really.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then and so now you're kind of set up in Ireland, and that's you, shacked up.
Stuck here, yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
That's
Got
not
the
a nice way of
house.
saying you're stuck there. It's a
No, I
child.
love.
It's a real thing. So you've
No, I
got
love it. Yeah. This is home now.
yeah. So is that you kind of situated Ireland? That's why you can say Doherty so well, I think.
Doherty,
Yeah.
yeah. You kind of pick up a little bit of the lingo or the pronunciations, although I'm still awful. Like there's so many words you just butcher as an English person.
Yeah, no, you can't. I say Cahill. I don't listen to anything, and just the stream last week just went mental because I said Cahill instead of Cahill. I just can't get away from it. Even English players, I just pronounce wrong. I've not been watching football for long enough, and I usually mute the
Cahill is
streams.
pretty bad.
I know. It's like whenever anyone ever says, "Oh, I can't pronounce stuff," I'm like, "You have no idea. You have no idea." Just I want to first off shout out to everyone who's in chat. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. We've had loads of follows. We've even had some subs here and there, so thank you very much. I've turned the thing off. Usually in normal streams, we've got awesome audio sound clips. Andy, you've been in the stream a few times. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I kind of mute it when we've got a wee guest because it is a little bit distracting. But I'm going to keep an eye on the chat and throw questions your way as it goes. So if you've got any awesome questions, then shout them out. And if they're good enough, then I'll ask them. And if not, then I'll fucking ignore you. All right. All right. So let's just get right to it, I think. Yeah, I know. So you've got a drink with you. What are you drinking, my man? If this was a first date, this is what you would order.
Yeah, probably something like this. It's
Yeah.
it's I can put it up to the camera. It's Galway Hooker. It's called. So basically,
All right.
I like IPAs these days. I've kind of gone like full circle. I used to only drink cider,
Uh-huh.
and now I hate cider. So I just mainly drink IPAs,
Right.
pretty much.
And is it kind of like just whatever you can find? Have you got? Is this your favorite? Because I mean, that is a great name, considering
Yeah.
you're in Ireland, and we were just talking about your wife, and you've you've picked that beer. That's
So
perfect.
the Galway Hooker is actually a fishing boat
Uh huh.
in Galway. That's what it's called.
Oh,
That.
really?
Yeah,
Nothing to do
yeah.
with customer service, is it?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all, I'm afraid. Yeah, so anything like this, there's like local brewery, Galway Bay
Mm.
Brewery. You'll see some of the FPL Beer Club people talking about them as well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Um, so yeah, I just kind of like that. I kind of like it. Just maybe I'm just getting old now, and old people drink IPAs. But yeah, that's just kind of my thing right now. I'm sure it'll change at some point. I'm not really into spirits and stuff. I always see you drinking your whiskey and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't help it. It's such a good excuse to drink. I can't believe you don't do it on stream. I'm assuming it's because you're worried about sounding like you don't know what you're talking about, but I never know what I'm talking about. So it's like a perfect disguise, and I'll just drink the whole time.
Yeah, no, it's not that. Like it's more like I just. The problem with me, like, I don't drink that often, but when I drink, I like to drink.
Right.
So I
Okay.
don't usually just have one or two. I'd want to like drink the whole night. So I just don't usually drink during the week.
Right.
So
Okay. Just you kind of saving yourself for the weekend.
yeah, save myself a Saturday
You're
and
a
then just
weekend
go for
Galway
it.
hooker. I like it. I love it.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I just first off, I want to say, what's the opposite of belated? Like I'm saying happy birthday, but before it's your birthday. I have no idea, but you are 39.2k followers on Twitter. You are like this close to 40,000. So I'm
Yeah,
probably not going to be speaking to you, live, but congratulations on 40k followers. You also have
thanks.
something like over 50,000 followers or subscribers, sorry, on YouTube. You've got 67 patrons. You are living the best life. You are doing amazing. So well done, by the way. Just researching, mostly researching you in the last couple of hours and just seeing like it's so much bigger than you first see, and you're doing so well. So what do you attribute that to most? What do you think you're most well known for?
I probably I started on the Scoutcast. It's kind of the first like kind of content I did, and then like it's actually nearly when was it, like 31st of December or something like that.
It
So when it
was
hits,
it was the November 18th, 2015.
yeah, for Scoutcast, for my own
Oh,
streams,
your own stream, sorry.
yeah, it's coming up for 3 years basically.
I have
Uh,
on the screen right now your very first Scoutcast appearance.
oh yeah,
Would you like to see it?
go on. I would say it was awful. I've seen my first stream back. It's so bad.
This is
Oh,
the
Good
look
first.
how
evening,
huge I
gentlemen,
am for a
and first of
start.
all, good evening to Andy, who stepped in for the absent
Back when
Granny
Mark was
tonight.
on it, what a
Welcome to
I
the
legend.
know.
Scoutcast,
Just
Andy.
miss it. You miss it
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. Thanks for having me. Looking
You
forward
look
to
like
it.
You got
nice
sound?
beard, I noticed.
Yeah, yeah. You
Almost a
probably can't
grandfather
hear it.
look.
I
Oh,
was going to
okay.
shave, but I thought be a bit of a letdown.
Oh my God, I
You
don't even
can't
want to
do
look at
that.
myself.
To be fair though, see
That's two houses
you've
ago
been.
as well.
Oh really? You just, all the
Yeah.
memories, the memories. To be honest though, like I've only really known you at the weight that you are kind of this year. I've not really been in the community for that long. And then looking at
Mm.
that video, I was like, holy shit, you have lost so much weight, man. And we'll talk about that more in the future. But like, you've been doing so well there. That is a big transformation. So well done, man.
Yeah, the old pictures are so horrible. But it's
It must.
good. It's good to
It's
see the
good to look at them
progress.
back though, right? It must be like vindicating.
Sometimes, yeah. And
um,
that is another reason why you don't drink too much during the week.
yeah, exactly. Well, you're telling me that now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's.
I'm preempting it.
Oh, you're like it's like Scrooge. I feel like Scrooge is getting to that point. So yeah, I've also found this. We'll talk about your favorite season because your seasons kind of speak for themselves here, right? Your previous seasons started 2010-11. Your first ever season, it seems on this account at least, 20,000.
This is the first one. I've not had
That's
any
the
other
first.
accounts.
So your worst ever placing is 104,000, and
Yeah.
you have been pretty much in the top 100k every single year. That's like you can't get any better than that. That's awesome. So
I
what?
like everyone. I have an excuse though for that 100k rank. So I was working nights at the time, so I wasn't really interested in FPL as much. So that's my excuse. The 92k rank, that was just I didn't buy Jamie Vardy and Leicester smashed the league.
Uh-huh.
That was a really bad year. But yeah, no, not done too bad to be fair. Not elite though. I've not got like a top 1k finish or something. That's what I really want.
So that's the kind of the next goal.
Yeah, I think I've only gotten the top 5k once. It'd be nice to do that again.
So
A top one.
what is your best season? Do you think is it the 4,935th? Or like I don't mean your best ever season. I mean your most memorable.
It probably is that one, not just because it was the best rank, but that was the first I started streaming partway through the season. So I started streaming on the first stream was 30th or the 31st of December 2016. So it was like
Right.
halfway through that season. And I wasn't doing great. I wasn't awful. There was obviously less players back then. But I think I was well into like 100k, maybe 200k or something like that. And like, you get people that follow the streams. They don't care what rank you are. They just want to hear you. They just want to chat, discuss. But obviously,
Yeah.
you get people that want to tell you how bad your rank is. So it was nice just to kind of like, I just smashed the rest of the season basically.
Yeah.
Started streaming where like sometimes there's a bit more pressure on getting it right, and then I just killed it every week. Just got green arrows all the way to the end, and then a 5k finish. So that is the best. Like I know it's like cliche that your best rank is your favorite season, but like last season was good for content because
There was a lot of ups
like,
and downs last year, and it was
yeah,
really
exactly,
good.
and
It was
top 10,
drama.
yeah, and I said in the final week to get into the top 10k, I need to captain Mane because that's a differential because everyone was going to go Sterling, and I switched to Sterling, and literally that change cost me 10 points, and that was all I needed to get into the top 10k. So that was like a interesting finish, but for a bad way. But yeah, that top 5k was um,
Was your
good.
favorite?
Favorite,
Yes,
yeah, first season streaming or whatever.
last year me and you were kind of neck and neck for a while. Now you had no idea who I was, and I was very, very new, but I was using you as a kind of benchmark because we had the most similar on the Scoutcast, and then I was kind of following you for a while and doing my own thing, and I actually, when you captained, who was it in the last double game week you captained? I think it might have been Manny. I'm not sure. I actually captained Ericsson, who got 2 goals and assist, and you went back. You went outside, like you were, I think 14,000, and I moved into the top 1k, and I was like, that is me. I'm set, and I'm just gonna try and stay here. And then you nearly made it, and I dropped all the way back to 4k, and it was my first proper season, and it was all pretty much down. I've only done, I think, 2 captaincies different to you, and it was that Ericsson one. And
Yeah,
that was
there is definitely small margins sometimes, especially when you get towards the top. And like this year, it's insane. Like I'm like 650k, but a couple of good game weeks, I'll be right back into 100k. So the points
Yeah.
are so close. So yeah, I mean, captaincy is huge. Like it
It's a
makes
big thing.
yeah, it can make like a good week great or a bad week okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can nail that every week. You're kind of laughing already from the start.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you were you kind of started in the Scoutcast and you were doing that for a while. Do you have any memorable moments on the Scoutcast that you can think of
Oh
that you could
God,
share
now you
with
put me
us?
on the spot. There was the one with who was it? There was Az. Was it Jay or Az? I can't remember. Or they maybe both done it. I think it was Jay. Jay Eggsdorf.
Mm-hmm.
And his laptop broke or something. It might have been. Is it him or Az? I can't remember who it was. And their laptop battery died or something. And they basically took us on a house tour of them trying to
Oh
find the
yeah.
plug for the laptop.
And he was just walking through his flat.
Yeah, you just saw every single part of
That
their
was last
house.
year, right? That was last year, or maybe the year
Probably the year
before.
before, actually. Yeah, probably the year before.
Because I seen that. I actually watched that. That was funny. But you were on there for a long time. Like I just shown the stream there. You were on there from 2015, and you recently stepped away. What made you
Yeah.
step away? Were you just kind of you want to plug your own stuff, kind of thing? Just start your own streams, life getting in the way, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was just too much. Like I'm doing 2 streams. I mean, back then I was doing 2 streams and 1 video. Now I'm doing 2 streams and 2 videos, and then to do the Scoutcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking 4 or 5 nights a week, and it gets a bit much. Like now, I've kind of like the more you do this stuff, the quicker you get at it.
Yeah.
And I've kind of got a good process now for doing that many videos in a week, but I still wouldn't want another night. Like now, I would go if they asked me to go on, I would go on like for a week.
Yeah.
Like doing this. Like
Just a
do
kind of
this
guest appearance.
exactly. Yeah, you do this, but you just don't want to be doing something else every single week. It just gets too much. And also, there's only so many times you can talk about the same thing in a week as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing 2 videos, 2 streams, like I don't think I can talk any more about Madison versus Tielemans, for example.
Well,
I've
funny you
just
say
talked
that.
about.
We've got a question in the chat. I'm
You probably-
actually one of the questions was good. Hold on, let me find it.
Was it the
Does
accent
your
one?
yeah? How does your English accent cause you any problems living in Galway?
Not really, to be
No,
honest. Like,
because
I
I'd
don't,
batter you if you came up here. To be fair.
I don't think. I'm not even sure most people will notice. To be honest. I don't really have like a. Obviously, it is English accent, but it's not really. I don't think
You're
many people
about to
can
say
pick
that
it.
you don't have a noticeable English accent. You are
No, I
talking
do.
absolute shit.
No, I do, but like, it's not like no one really. It's not Geordie. It's not like
Yeah, it's not
I don't know
ridiculous. It's not
Scouse or
annoying.
whatever.
You've got like a proper, how would I say it nicely? Like a working class kind of accent.
Yeah.
You're not like Jack Whitehall. Who would definitely not want to come to Glasgow anytime soon. Although he
I
was
only
in
had,
Glasgow last night.
I've only had like two run-ins with people. Like one was pretty much when I first got over it, and he was very drunk. And he was chatting to me, all fine. And then he asked me where I was from, and I told him where in England. And then he just turned
That
because I
was
was
him.
English. But he didn't realise before until I told him exactly where. And then there was like I went somewhere. There was a lot of older people there, and a national anthem came on, and we didn't. Me and my mates were there. We just didn't stand for it. We weren't being like disrespectful. We weren't like shouting over it. We just sat there and listened.
Oh, okay.
We
It
didn't
wasn't like
stand
you
up.
weren't standing for it. You just literally
Yeah.
didn't stand. Like, we will not stand for this.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. We just sat down like, oh, we're not Irish. We're not gonna stand. And maybe that was wrong. We were a bit younger, but whatever.
To be fair,
So
you're
yeah,
quite a big guy. Like, I don't think people are going to mess with you. And I'm going to show the stream some of your workout sessions. You've got some videos that you put on I think it's either your
second.
games one or your second account on Twitter. You've got a few good, like we talk about bench a lot in FPL, but oh my God, you are lifting heavy weights, man. So I don't think many people would come up to you and like try and harass you because of your English accent, because you're pretty much packing.
Yeah, not maybe not.
How
Yeah,
tall are
I'm
you? How
nearly
tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just
full
you're
enough.
this much smaller than me, but you have like you have like more muscles than I have mass. Like that's yeah. No one's gonna be messing with you, I don't think.
Hope not. I like to stay
So
out of trouble anyway.
yeah, you could be a bouncer and knee baller as well. I can imagine you telling me like, "No, the night, pal," and we've been like, "Right, fair enough." So anyway, let's get back on track. Pro pundit. So you did take a step back, like we talked about, from Scoutcast and regularly, being on their podcast, but they also introduced these new pro pundits thing. Can you
Yeah.
talk about a little bit about what that is?
Yes, it's basically like just got a bunch of people together. Like it's not. I know like the initial reaction is, oh, it's all people that have got like high followers and stuff, but it's actually not. There's a good few people in there that are just long-term members of Fantasy Football Scout, who just have good ranks. There's like Zofar on Twitter. There's Later Riser as well. They're not necessarily hugely followed, but they've got very good ranks in the past, and they're prominent community. Like I haven't been posting as much on the site in maybe the last year or so, but
Yeah.
up until for the last 10 years, I've been a big poster on there, and that's kind of what those guys were before Twitter and stuff came in.
Okay.
So yeah, there's basically a lot of good players with good ranks. Maybe some prominent community members like YouTube, whatever it might be, podcasts and stuff. It's right now. It's mostly just about team and thoughts about that. Some people have done other articles like kind of more strategy based or more just like I don't know, talking about mental health or whatever. But yeah, it's just to get something. I think just to get something a bit different on the site rather than just the same writers they have doing the same. Their stuff's really good, but just to
Yeah,
add another voice,
a
basically.
little bit of variety. And to be
Yeah,
honest,
exactly.
a lot of not only are you a pro pundit, but you can see on the stream there, you are the top pro pundit. Look at that. Andy at the very
Yeah,
top.
it's a good. That's the
Don't
thing.
look
Good
at
thing
the
about having a name
letters.
with A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Let's not don't even trip. That's a great that you are number one. And you wrote, I think your last one or maybe your second last one, I think is selling Raheem Sterling, which kind of worked out for you last week.
So
And
fun. Yeah.
it's basically just you writing a kind of blog about your team, really, isn't it? And every week going on. Is that kind of what you want to do, or are you just going to write about whatever you fancy and see how that goes? What are
Yeah,
your personal goals?
the kind of thing right now is kind of the brief, I suppose, is to mostly write about our teams, but also like kind of the thinking behind it. Like why am I selling Sterling? If I want to bring in a certain player, why them? Like what's so good about them right now?
Yeah.
Rather than I'm doing this and then I'm going to do that and then that's it.
And for everyone watching, that is a lot easier with now. This isn't a plug, like I'm not sponsored or anything, but the members section of Fantasy Football Scout makes those decisions so much easier. Now, I know that in my stream I was kind of building funds to get one, and you actually personally sent me like a tenner like towards it, so thank you very much for that. That was really nice of you. And I got it, and I had a look, and I was like, this is like learning the cheats to Grand Theft Auto 3. You know, like when you figure out that you can make the cars fly and you can get any gun you want, and you just go about like killing hookers. Like that's what this felt like. I felt like I was 10 years old, and every question that I had about about FPL was just there in front of me. So do you use that like all religious? I'm assuming you use that all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff in there, and like obviously you can, like you can see it there from the drop down. It's like rate my team, the season ticker. Like the two things I use the most are the season ticker, because you don't necessarily have to show it from like this game week onwards. You can, if you want to plan ahead, you can take it to game week 17 and then look at the next 5 or whatever and order them by attack, defense. So I use that quite.
That was one of my favorite things actually. Not only can you do that by attack defense, but if you think Arsenal are absolutely shite, you can like drag their difficulty all the way down, which is good because obviously this is like taken from somewhere, right? There's like a data analyst function or script that pulls all that data through. But if you think personally, like actually, you know what, Sheffield United are way too good to be there, you can absolutely pull them through and make kind of your own conclusions up, which I think is the best way to do it. And that I've never seen that anywhere else.
Yeah, I think they do update that as it goes. But as an example, like let's say it's Saturday morning, suddenly you get notice that Kane is out or something. Maybe not. Maybe Kane and Spurs this season not the best example. But let's say Kane's out, and all of a sudden, Spurs looking good on the attack, but actually they're probably not going to be as good now Kane's out. Yeah, you can just reduce it down. So that is pretty handy. And the other thing is stats tables. I have my own stats tables.
Can you make your own stats tables? Oh shit, I never saw that.
You can just stuff. You can click into it. I won't just click into it.
Yeah, I won't get in trouble. Where am I going? Hold on, let's go into
go on player stats.
Player stats. Let's do it. This is turning into a definite fucking. This is
there's no sponsored by. So go on my stats tables on the left.
This is like rate my team, but I'm much better. What am I doing? Sorry.
Yeah. You're there. Up, there, down, 2, down. My stats tables.
Oh yeah. Got it. Looks like you haven't created any tables yet.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't. Takes a bit of time. But basically, you go on there.
Oh
and
wow.
You choose like 10 different stat columns that you want to put.
Right. So this is why the goals imminent table is like the top voted and stuff. Those are like created. Oh, I see. I haven't. So I already have going through it.
So I have mine done. So basically, every week, if I can go in, and then you can filter it however you want. So you can do the current game week just gone. So if you want to see if anyone did really well, blah blah, you can do that. You can go back 4 game weeks, etc. It's just really handy. There's loads of other stuff in there. It just depends what you want to use, really.
Yeah. And this is a trip, like, I feel like I said before, it's like cheat codes, man. It's so good. and I've got, like, this big folder here that has, like, loads of different sites, but it's pretty much all just here, which is the best part. People keep asking on the thing, how much does it cost? I think it's just daffs. It keeps asking the same question over and over. I don't know. I think it's, like, 17 quid or something.
Yeah, for the whole year, you can do it monthly, I think.
Oh, yeah, they released it monthly as well. So yeah, let's move on. You've got your own YouTube channel, obviously, 56.3k subscribers. Yeah. What is your favorite medium of content? Would you think that is the streaming part, the videos? Because obviously you have a video and or stream out almost every single day, and you do written content for at least the Scout that I know of. I'm sure you probably do other little bits and pieces. So what's your favorite?
No, it's just that one. Actually.
Just the Scout?
It's just that one. Yeah. It's tough between definitely not writing. I don't think that's a necessarily a massive strong point for me. I think the articles I've done are fine, but I couldn't be like like the guys are just knocking out great articles like every single day. I just don't think I could do that. But get like writing 1 or 2 a week is fine. But I think videos for sure. Between streams and videos, it's actually pretty difficult because the videos you get, you've done your research, you know what you're going to say. You've 100%. Most of the time you've 100% got it right what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Even if
For
you get
you,
it wrong,
maybe. For you.
no. But what I mean is, like, if I say X player has got this many goals and assists over the last 4 weeks or whatever it might be,
Yeah.
I've checked that before I say it. Which you go on a live stream and someone asks you a question that you don't know, then you've got to be honest about that. There's no point in lying and saying, oh, this, and that. Then you have to go and look for it. It doesn't flow as well. So I like live streams because that's kind of how my channel kicked off. No one was really live streaming when I started doing it.
Right.
So I kind of
You're
like
the
that.
OG live streamer. So you
don't wanna
prefer
say-
it being kind of raw then?
Yeah, maybe not for definite. Someone else might have been streaming, but I don't think many people were doing it consistently every single game week.
Yeah, there probably was one or two people, but you are the man on the screen right now, so that's you.
I do like doing the streams, but there's something about videos as well. I like them both, to be honest. It's hard to pick between the two. I love YouTube, like, in general. I have a bit of I don't know, like what's the word? I just have an interest in how it works and how people can make money, and then they grow and they get sponsors, and how to get people to watch their videos, and
the marketing level and all that stuff.
Yeah, how can you improve week to week or year to year? Like, what is the next thing I need to improve on? And why are this many people watching or whatever? And it's just, I don't know. I just have even outside of FPL, I just have an interest in YouTube. I always have. I actually have a gaming channel.
Oh really? Tell me where
which
that is.
That is. It's rubbish. Anyway, I've only got a few videos out there.
Yeah. There's only 85 people in here, which just stays between us.
It's Final Fantasy 14 videos. So if you can find them, you'll hear my voice.
I've seen you stream on Twitch. I could just, I'll find them. I found that your first ever Scoutcast. I've got this. Look, hold on. I found this.
You don't know the name though.
You have no idea what I'm capable of. Look at this. For my first ever fantasy football draft, I'm quite happy with this team. Do you remember this?
Wait, that isn't actually the first ever.
It's not your first. I think it's this particular season, which is 2015.
Okay. Look at that. Saka, Gomez, and Juve up front. What a load of rubbish.
I thought it was quite interesting because you're thinking about getting Manny in. Look at that, 8 million. You'd kill someone for that right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Depay in there, Hazard, RIP.
There's no way I went in with that team in game week 1.
I really want to check. I wish you could. Have you got it? Did you record them back in the day?
No, I always say every season I'm gonna start recording my team this year on Twitter, and then I never do. Never keep up with it.
We talked about that on Fantasy Weekly this week. I think it's out. Yeah, it came out earlier today or yesterday, and Holly was like, "Oh yeah, I was looking back at my seasons, and I think my worst ever start, my best ever finish was this, and this is the time I had it, and then by this game week I was top 10k and all that stuff." And James said, "Well, how did you find that out? Where do I go to find that out?" And she was like, "Oh no, I've just kept the data."
Yeah, people all do that. They've got like spreadsheets and Excel spreadsheets and graphs and stuff. I wish I'd done it, but I didn't, so it's a bit late now.
Yeah, General said.
And as people are saying in the chat, Adam Johnson was in that team.
Oh, was he? Oh no.
Yeah. Probably won't be getting any of my teams in the near future.
No, probably not. Let's not get into that mess. Oh my god. Yeah, General said that it's good. It's only good managers that keep all their data. To which me and James both laughed. And then cried. All right, so let's just move on. I think the YouTube stuff is coming along great, but what's coming along even better is your FPL Fit. Definitely the highlight of your season, I feel like. And looking back at that Scoutcast to where you are right now on the screen, like, you've been doing an incredible job. What made you start doing the FPL Fit? Were you just like, I'm just starting?
Yeah, I mean, I've only been doing this since November 1st. Like, I first started, like, in general, trying to get fitter, lose weight, like, April 2018. So just over 18 months now. But yeah, I just go through phases throughout the year where I'm on it, eat well, exercise, and then I'll go on holiday or something, and then I find it really hard to get back into it. Like, not necessarily going to the gym. I've not really stopped that, but at the end of the day, it's the food that gets the weight off. So,
right. Is that what you find? It's more about your eating habits than your actual
definitely
your weight stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's still good to go to the gym, even if you're eating crap. 'Cause it's good to move, use your muscles or whatever. But to get a weight off, you need to eat the proper food. So,
Mm.
yeah, I basically wasn't doing that. And obviously, a lot of people tweeting me when I put this out say, "Well, you need to eat." Well, it's not about the gym, but um,
I'm showing them
oh,
on stream. Look
yeah, I
at
know
this.
you've lost my I've lost my train of thought
Oh,
now.
sorry. You were
No,
looking at your
it's fine.
beautiful body.
But
Oh, nice.
basically, it was like it's like accountability almost because I'm telling everyone like nearly 40,000 people I'm going to do this every day. Then if there's a
Hmm.
day I can't be asked, I feel I've got to go and do it.
Yeah,
And like
that
when
makes
I
a lot of
exercise
sense.
more, I eat better
Right.
basically.
Okay. So you're kind of more on it. Your mind's on it and stuff, and you're thinking about it more often. So therefore, you're kind of guilting yourself into the mindset, as it were.
Yeah, basically. The problem is with these videos, by the way, is
You
everyone's
really hurt
gonna
your hand.
no, everyone's gonna be telling me my form is bad.
Oh, fuck that! Like, who cares? I can't
My
lift
back
that
will care.
now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You kind of need to lift with your knees a little bit more. Even I know. I've never been in a gym in my life. No, but it just shows like you look awesome, and you previously have shown. I think I couldn't find the tweet, and I was really sad that I couldn't find it. But was your main goal to get into your England strip? Did I make that up? I remember you
Uh,
tweeting something about that you list year this time last year you couldn't get into it, so this year you were really happy about it. Was that your goal?
yeah, like I've not I love like international football, like World Cup and Euros. Like to me, is for a lot of it is better than watching the league. Obviously, the league is good because it's every single
Mm-hmm.
week. But yeah, I like because England, I always go and meet up with my mates, and some of them I don't see until the next big tournament.
Right, because you're in
Um,
Ireland, right?
yeah, exactly. We always make a point of going to watch it. So yeah, it was nice to fit into it. And like, so by the time Euros come out next year, I want to like even be in a smaller one, and it'd be cool just to watch England with everyone else in an England shirt. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like small things like that. You just
Yeah, and you don't realize
kind
if,
of
if
forget.
someone who's for someone who's like I've been forever skinny and only recently started gaining weight after moving to like a desk job, it's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
to put your shoes or hard to put someone else's shoes on in that, but that kind of stuff is such a good motivator. I feel like to just be able to even get and to be like everyone else, that's something amazing, and to be able to go and meet your friends and them to be all like, holy shit, you're in the England stuff and blah blah blah. It's a huge motivator. So well done, by the way. It takes a lot of like not only bottle to go ahead and do that with family and friends, but also like you've got X amount of followers, hundreds of thousand people seeing that. So well done.
Yeah, to be honest, like people are just great with that stuff. They want to like help you or encourage you or give you some tips, and it's just super handy to put it out there. Actually,
Yeah.
it's really
It's like
good. Good motivator.
accountability as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I found this picture, which I hope you don't mind me sharing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, it's public, so I can't.
you
As
can't
as
say
plenty
no.
as plenty of people pointed out, I got a bit shorter in this video. In this picture.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, no, you're totally right. But yeah, no, and you even said in this tweet that you had already lost 2 stone when the first picture was taken.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine how ridiculous it would have been if I'd done it at the highest.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's insane. Like the clothes, like pictures are good, but clothes are
the
such a good
real,
motivator.
yeah, the real testament.
Yeah, that's when
So,
you really know it's gone.
So I feel like that's one of your highlights of the season is not the pro pundit, but not the all the followers and everything, but like actually getting back into it and doing really well with it. So well done for that. Your low of the season, last thing I kind of want to chat about, which is one of the things that everyone keeps asking about, and I felt like I'll just throw it in at the end, is that your hacking experience. It's something that doesn't happen very often. It was bewildering to most of the community, and a lot of people want to know like, what was your first reaction when you found out like I've been hacked?
I think I was hungover. Um, and it was
Oh
Sunday
wow.
morning. It was Sunday morning because we were going to watch. It was the first game of the Rugby World Cup, and Ireland were playing, and my missus had won like the pubs were showing it basically, and so one of the pubs had run a competition on Facebook to win a table reserved and like free breakfast for 4 people. So we
Uh
were going to that. I was hungover
huh.
and I woke up. I suddenly as you do, as you shouldn't do, but as every one of us does, I got up. Obviously, I checked Twitter because what else would I do in my life first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
And I just had loads of tweets saying you need to check your account. Your account's gone, and I knew then it was gone. I just knew there was no reason that people would be tweeting me that and lying, or tweeting me that and
Yeah,
actually
so
being a
many
false
different
alarm.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew it had gone. Like it was all over Scout as well. So I went to log in. I can't remember what it said now. Something like you don't have access to this page, and I was just like, for fuck's sake! And like I was just like, it's gone. And I didn't panic too much because I kind of thought, hopefully I can get it back. If it's happened, I saw it had happened to Neil as well, and obviously Chef it had happened to too. So
Yeah.
I thought um, this isn't a coincidence. So I'm hoping it can get fixed. Like it was a bit frustrating the amount of time it took. But like I just can't complain too much. I got like it could have been worse. I could have got hacked midway through, lost all those points, and then my season would have literally been screwed. I would never have been able to get it back.
Yeah.
So the fact that it happened like on a Saturday night, Sunday, yeah, it screwed me. Yes, it's frustrating. Like as I've talked about loads on streams, like not having even players like Lundstrom, because I
Yeah.
had him at 4 million. And okay, as people have rightly pointed out, I could have got him back
You
at
could have just brought Ray
4.5.
back in. No, I
Could
did
have,
that as well. I lost Kelly. I accidentally took him out of my wild card and I had him at 4.1 or whatever. And then I missed out on a 0.1 million. I was like, nah, I don't want him anymore. Like, it's
yeah,
just that thing in your brain that tells you, like, oh, it's such a waste of money.
yeah. It's like he's not 4 million now, so I have to treat him like the other 4.5s. And I basically worked out which defenders I was going to play in which game weeks, and
Yeah.
his fixtures just weren't that good at the time. I mean, not little did I know. I mean, I just didn't put enough emphasis on the fact he was playing in bloody midfield.
Yeah. I mean, that
Um,
wasn't your worst decision of the year, but we won't talk about Son. But yeah, so the hacking thing kind of fucked up a little bit
Son
of
wasn't
your
good.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the hack. Yeah, it's frustrating, and like I don't want to like caveat every move I make as well. This wouldn't have happened if I got hacked, because once that happens, every other decision is different anyway, and like it's kind of like a. That's why I actually think in FPL like it's kind of difficult to analyze after the fact, because as soon
Yeah.
as you make this transfer instead of this one, every other decision is different.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to know
It's like the
if
butterfly effect, isn't it?
yeah, and if I'd done that other move, I mean, okay, you can analyze it after the actual week, but going forward, it's very hard to say. Well, back 10 weeks ago, if
Yeah.
I'd done this differently, it would have been this different. It's hard to
Yeah, because
say that.
if you had made that decision 5 weeks ago and you didn't make the transfer that you did, instead of done that, then you would have had a completely different fire maybe 3 weeks down the line, and you don't know
Exactly,
how you would have handled that, and it becomes exponential. It's like that. There's a famous proverb of a king came to a physician and he said to him, I want to know XYZ. I don't remember the whole thing, to be honest. I've been drinking all day. and the physician said, you know what? All I want is 1 grain of rice, then 2 grains of rice, and then 4 grains of rice on every square of the chessboard. And I'm just going to keep going and going, double that, and then I'll tell you all the answers. And it became to the point where there was not enough rice in the whole kingdom to fix that because of the exponential growth of the rice. Now that is a really good analogy for like just how much different options there are as farther you go back to try to change all of your options. It's exponential. Yeah. You have no idea. Like from now all the back to game week 1, the one change different in game week 1 could be 50,000 different options by the time you hit game week 15. Like it's huge. So I think you're absolutely right. You've hit the nail on the head. You don't know what would have happened if you didn't get hacked. You probably would be a little bit higher, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would. I mean, because what's interesting is I had to use my free hit or wild card, and obviously now everyone's telling me I should have used free hits. That's another thing. Like, I used my wild card because I just thought the free hit would be better later on,
right?
And I might not miss the value so much. But obviously now, because I got rid of Lundstrom and he got 21 points, which wouldn't have happened if I'd free hit. Then suddenly I get loads of things. You should have free hit. Well, we don't. This is what I'm saying. If I'd free hit, who knows what would have happened the last 7 game weeks? Like it would have been completely different. Yes, I'd have the value, but
To be fair,
I
no
don't
one's
know.
been in that situation before where they could give you advice on getting hacked and what to do,
Yeah,
what to do with it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it happened to literally 3 people since I've been playing this game. Albeit you did. Now, and Chef probably won't mind me saying this, but you handled it much better than the other two. At least Chef did. He was very upset, whereas you were like, "This is my team for the next week," and you tweeted just a blank paper. That was
Yeah,
honestly the best tweet of the season. I've favorited that. I look at it often.
yeah. I was hopeful that like it was going to get fixed, and also like whether I get angry about it or not is not going to change whether it gets fixed.
Uh-huh.
So that's basically how I thought about it. I just thought I'll see what happens. I'll
Yeah.
wait and see if it gets fixed before I start worrying about having a go. But yeah, no, you have to make light of it. Like it's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
one
Like
of those.
like the chat just said, you just gotta laugh. You gotta let
Yeah,
it work for
exactly.
you. Which comes nicely to your team just now. I know you just streamed and you've been chatting about this. We had a good question earlier on, which was, is Maguire a good differential? I feel like that's a great start to the to looking at your team. You just can't help yourself. What? Not rule number 1: don't have a favorite team in FPL, and look at what happens.
But the thing is, like everyone's like been saying that to me, but this is the first time I bought a Man United player in all season. Bearing in mind
Yeah.
how good James was at the start, how good
Hmm.
Martial was. Obviously, he got injured, so that kind of took the decision out of my hand. But yeah, I've not had one. It was basically fixtures. Like, yes, Lundstrom. Like, again, in hindsight, and
Hmm.
maybe not in hindsight. A lot of people said it anyway, but should have got him in against Burnley. But it was just the fixtures. After that, I didn't really want him. To be fair, the second one he's blanked. Let's see what he does the next two against Man United and Spurs.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's going to
sorry,
be
Man United.
painful if he fucks your Maguire clean sheet, isn't it?
Th-
That's
This is the
good.
this is the problem I have. I could do Maguire to Lundstrom. I'm definitely going to make another transfer. So do I spend 4 points to get Lundstrom in for the same game Maguire has, albeit
Yeah.
at home?
It's going to be difficult.
So yeah, and then next week Maguire has Villa at home and Lundstrom has Wolves away. So I'm going to keep him one more week basically, and then
It's
I'm going to
it's
get rid of
logical. It
him.
makes sense. And to be honest, like I was only teasing about the Manchester United because I've told people like who have said, "Oh, this guy plus this guy or this guy and James," and I've been like, "Yeah, no, James is a good differential," and they've been working out. Liam's on the stream. A few other people who regularly look in do have benefited from Manchester United players. It's not like they haven't done well, and also like their defense is criminally underperforming.
Yeah, it's
Because they're
frustrating.
so good in the stats. It seems like they're just one mistake fix away from keeping a lot more clean sheets than they have done.
I said this. I've said this a few times on streams recently. I can't remember what season it was, but it was one where I was playing FPL, and it was probably before kind of Klopp and Pep era, to be honest. And Spurs' defense was great in terms of goals conceded. They were the best team in the league in terms of the amount of goals conceded. But every week they would concede one goal. So from an FPL point of view, they were super frustrating. That's basically what Man United like. They've not conceded more than 2 goals all season.
Hmm.
And I think in the last 4 games, 2 of which I've had Maguire in, they've only conceded one.
Yeah.
So they're not conceding too many, but from an FPL point of view, it doesn't matter. As soon as you concede one,
Yeah.
it's game over. So yeah, that is
So
frustrating.
so obviously this isn't going to be your setup for next week. You've got Soy and Chu on the bench for that 8 point, which must have hurt. But you've got Tamori on there, which is fine. A lot of people missed out on that. So I'm assuming you're going to put Tamori on the bench and bring on Soy, and leave Maguire in there for one more week.
The Maguire's probably going to stay for 2 more weeks, but
Right.
yeah,
At
I think
least.
yeah. Right now I've got. I'm just looking at now. Trent, yeah, Soyuncu and Maguire because they all away. They got a lot of away games this week.
Okay.
A lot.
All right, I'm going to open up the chat to questions about FPL because we've had a
Oh
lot and I've
god.
just been ignoring them. So just chuck any of your FPL questions and we'll ask really quickly because I was on the stream with Andy there earlier and he gets like 50 questions a minute and it's mental. So go ahead just for the next little bit while we're talking about the FPL questions. Martial or now? What do you think? Out of position, striker, number 9, fit.
So I don't think there's much to dislike about Martial given his price position. Man United, to be fair, like actually doing okay in recent weeks, and Pogba, hopefully back soon. His ankle
Yeah.
strapping or ankle cast, whatever he had on, is off.
Uh-huh.
But the next 4 fixtures were put me off. I think from an
Lucas has
attacking
asked,
point of
leave
view.
or remain. Great FPL question.
I answered that on stream the other day.
Oh, did you?
Well, I didn't answer it directly, but I said
Oh, you
I'm an
can't, can
English
you?
I'm an English person that when I wanted to move to Ireland just got up and left because I was in the EU and could just get a job elsewhere. So which do you think?
It would be really difficult for you to say, yeah, no, I think we should leave the EU, considering it.
yeah, we
it
definitely
literally
shouldn't
helped
be
you
able to just
connect.
move country. Exactly. Like it's anyway, we probably shouldn't get into that, but yes, that is my view.
Yeah, good
But yeah,
question.
like I think Maguire for the next two because I'm looking to get rid of him for Lundstrom is okay defensively, but from an attacking point of view, Sheffield United away best defensive team in the league so far. Whether they can keep that up, we'll see. Villa at home is obviously a great fixture, but then it's Spurs at home. How will they be under Mourinho? And then Man City away. So I don't necessarily like Martial's next four apart from Villa. So I think him in general is fine. But personally, I'm going for Maddison this week probably or Tielemans
Right, okay.
because of Leicester's fixtures, and then I might look to switch to a Man United player after that. Because it's Everton, Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, Arsenal, Norwich. It just gets a bit better.
Yeah, you're in a position that a lot of people aren't in because they've already tripled up on these teams, Leicester, and Liverpool, and you've got 3 Chelsea to be fair. But yeah, so Maddison you can bring in for free, and there's no real issue with that. I think that's a great decision. What are you doing captaincy wise? And with Salah, we've got a few questions on captaincies, and what do you think of captaining a Liverpool player and stuff? Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I think this week's really hard for. It's just one of those weeks when no one's a standout. I don't think. Like if Liverpool play Norwich at home, then there'll be no question it would be Mane or Salah.
Right.
Salah's obviously super frustrating because of this ankle.
Because he's not Mane.
Yeah, this ankle thing is just doing my head in, and obviously the later, the longer we go, or the longer people like me go without making the swap, they're going to be the same price soon. That's even more frustrating considering it was $1 million at one point.
Yeah.
The ankle knock is as a Salah owner is annoying. If I was a Mane owner, it'd be a bit different. I looked at this for a video, like the stats and stuff for Palace. They've not actually been as good as because I think they're one of those teams which I definitely do see them as a team you wouldn't necessarily want to captain a player against because although they're not, a great team that are going to win every game, they can be pretty organised by Hodgson defence and stuff. So, but the stats have not been great. But I still don't think it's a standout for me just because it could be that game where they defend deep, they defend well, and they make Liverpool work for it, and they just don't get much out of it. So I'm going Vardy currently, but Brighton have been great at home, but they're without Dunk, so I think that makes it a little bit. It makes me a little bit happier doing that. So, yeah, I wouldn't begrudge. Like, pretty much, you could tell me within reason, like any player you're captain this week, and I think it'd be okay. Jimenez against Bournemouth, Sterling against Man City,
Kevin De Bruyne always captain, etc., etc. I think you're absolutely right, and this is one of the best times to go for a differential because, like, you can see people in the community saying, "I'm going to captain Alexander-Arnold." Now, usually, the what I've been saying all along is, you captain no defender unless it's a Brighton defender for the double game week.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, you can't really say not to do Alexander-Arnold because he's practically a winger with like the opportunity to get a clean sheet. No. Set pieces, corners. It's hard to say no. If you're going to say yes to Chelsea at home for Sterling, then it's hard to say, Crystal Palace at home for Alexander-Arnold. At home, is it?
It's away though. It's away, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's maybe a bit different. Still though, it's not. It's going to be the best week probably to do that at least. It's hard to do it when, like you said, if there's like a clear, Sterling's playing Norwich. And everyone's doing that, then you probably don't want to be going for a differential defense captain. Whereas in this week, when there's a lot of issues, what do you make of that?
I think that's a good argument. I still wouldn't do it though. I don't think.
No, neither would I.
Exactly.
I'm definitely not doing it. But it's hard to say no to people when they're like, "Oh, Dave, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I think I don't want to answer this question."
No, I'll always answer. Say no. I always try and be diplomatic. Yeah, if you want to go for it, you should do it. I would never do it though.
It's just like your mum when she used to be like, whatever you like. Yes, very good. Go fuck off.
Because I don't want to like sit there and tell people no. Like I'm not a massive expert. I don't know more than the person asking the question or whatever. But obviously, when you stream, you just give your opinion, and my opinion is it's just I just don't want to captain defender. It's like, especially if you can then watch the game and every time Palace attack, it's just going to be like super stressful.
Yeah, that's the
So
problem
I
is watching the game where you've captained a defender.
yeah, I just couldn't do it.
I'm really sorry, Andy, but the chat is just about to go into a mutiny. I'm gonna have to ask you to rate my team.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people in it. I'd never do this. I don't like doing it, but if the chat are asking, then
Well,
I'm gonna
I
ask
love
you.
there's a certain section of the community that hate rating my teams because they they'll always say something like the other person will just basically want to make it their team.
Yeah, I don't do that. I actually enjoy
Triple
doing.
Man C, damn. Okay,
Yeah, well,
this is definitely different to my team.
that was an example. Or sorry, that was a. Let me see. What were the fixtures when I did that? I was like, look, I'm gonna do it for 2 weeks or something, and then after the Liverpool game, I'll take it away. Yeah, Aston Villa and Southampton. So that's when I brought in David Silva. I already had Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne, and I thought I got rid of Son because they were in a shambles. I'll bring in David Silva, and then after the Liverpool game, I'll bring in Mane, and that was the plan, and still might be the plan. So yeah, go for it. Do your worst.
Okay. All right, where do we start? I mean, defense is fine.
Of
Like, there's
course.
nothing.
It's
Cresswell.
better than your
I think,
defense, I would say. I'm only
yeah.
teasing.
No, it was pretty. Well, it's actually, yeah, it is better. You got Lundstrom instead of Wyatt, so straight away it's better. And then Rico instead of Tamori, which is fine because it saves you some money. And then I've got Diop, so we've both got two crappy West Ham
I know,
defenders.
we can't get rid of them because we've got too much shit to do elsewhere.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the obvious is no Liverpool midfielder.
Yeah, but Firmino's there, and he's gonna come good one of these days.
Uh, yeah, I mean, for me, someone asked me about him on stream. Like, he's got obviously he's got the same fixtures as them, so he's got the
Yeah.
same potential. But we all know that he's the one that kind of
Passes.
sets Salah and Mane free. Like, he's the one that does the dirty work so they can get forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the next, maybe not Crystal Palace away. I don't necessarily see that as a massive score for Liverpool, but I think after that they've got some proper nice captainable fixtures.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I've got Salah, and I would even take a hit to get Mane in if it meant having a fully fit Liverpool defender for the next midfielder for the next.
All right, I'll show you what I've been working with. All right, so I can take
Yeah.
Firmino out, and I can take David Silva out, and I can add Mane in, and I can add either Muset in or IU in as an option, and that would be the team there. He's stunned in silence, folks.
Now, hang
He
on,
loves
offset.
it.
How much money you got left? I was trying to see how much money you got left. I was trying to work out the
0.1
money.
million. So I had 0.2 million saved in the bank before doing the transfer, and then yeah.
Yeah, but basically, like, you basically have a decision to make. Is in see, I got rid of Sterling, so I could put like more value. Not that Sterling. It's not a good way of putting it because it's not like Sterling's not necessarily. Jesus Christ, it's not like Sterling's necessarily bad value, but like obviously, what I mean is I've spread the money. So I've got Jimenez and Vardy
Yeah.
instead of like Sterling plus like a cheap.
You've
Or
went the
whatever.
Sterling out route, which he
Yeah,
wrote
so-
extensively right here, and I will link that.
Yeah, exactly. you basically got a decision to make. Like, that's fine that you got Mane in, but obviously you have to play Mousse every week, which they got good fixtures coming up.
They
So
do
maybe
have
that
good
works
fixtures.
out. And he's played well.
It could be a 4-4-2, to be honest. I could play Soy, Alexander-Arnold, Lundstrom, and one of Cresswell or Rico, depending on. Or
Yeah,
it's a kind of a swap between Cresswell, Rico, and Musset, depending on the best fixture, and then
Yeah,
kind of
that's not
play that
so
little
good.
roulette.
But obviously you're making that sacrifice to keep Sterling, De Bruyne, and Mane. So I guess that's obviously up to you whether that is the way you want to play it. Like Mousse, I quite like. I think he could be good value, but I just worry it's going to be like a Cantwell situation where you get lumbered with a cheap player you can't upgrade without another hit.
Yeah, I feel you. Because then, and you know what? To be honest, see, because of this whole Salah Robertson thing that's been going on, I've kind of just put me off getting Mane altogether. And I was thinking I could just go crazy because I'm down in the dregs of like nearly 2 million. And it's really depressing because I looked at my history last year and I had just cracked the top 6K going into game week 13, and now I'm looking at here and I'm like 1.9 million. It's really depressing. So I was thinking like it can't get any worse. So what if I just like take out Firmino and bring Kane in and then like fuck about here a little bit and see what I can do. Maybe bring Robertson in and then, you know, go down to McGinn or something and just play for differentials, like uber differential team. but obviously that is a high risk strategy. And
See, I like Kane. Yeah, Kane is obviously super tempting because we know what he has been able to do,
yeah,
and the new manager, there's just always that kind of hope that he'll do well. But like, I would be thinking you've got three midfielders, quite expensive, all for the same team,
yeah,
and Son could be gotten pretty easily.
yeah. I
Who's
could do
cheaper than
that.
Kane?
I could definitely do that. I could bring in Son there, and I'd still have enough for Jimenez, I think,
Because
potentially.
it's almost certain that they play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and either way, Son is playing.
Yeah, I mean he's
Like
their best player almost.
exactly. So
Yeah, I've got enough for
yeah,
Jimenez. Look at that.
Jimenez and Son.
Yeah, over
Oh yeah, see.
Firmino and David Silva. See, that's tempting, but that's super template. I think. I feel like.
Nah, it's not. Well,
Nah,
I mean, the front three. The front three is what I. Yeah, the thing is, like, check Jimenez's
they're
ownership.
only 13.9 to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I think people worry about the template too much.
Yeah, no, I know.
my
It's and
opinion.
it's something that I was writing about. I was gonna, to be honest, I deleted it all because it was just way too depressing looking last year to this year. But I was writing about how the differences between being in the top 10K and being in the top 2 million. And one of the things is that you think about differentials like way more. Even if you don't want to, you're always staring at percentage owned because rank killers are such a huge thing into the top 2 million. If you don't have Vardy and you didn't captain him, you're fucked. Whereas if you're in the top 10K, you're ahead of most people anyway. So a little dip in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
week is a lot easier to handle. So yeah, but anyway, no, that's enough of my team. That's so shit. Bring it on, guest. A big guest, and then get them to rate your team.
I don't think it's too bad to be honest. Like the one thing I did recently when I got Vardy and Jimenez is just take a few hits.
Yeah, just go
Like just
nuts.
to if it's something you really want to do and you're not happy with the team, just kind of like reset it.
Yeah,
Because like, the problem I was having was I was like making a transfer, and then I was already got my next two or three transfers sorted, and that's without even worrying about any injuries and stuff. So I just wanted to like get ahead, basically. So maybe it's time for a few hits.
yeah, maybe.
Try it
So,
out.
and I've got 2 free transfers, so I could do a little mini wild card and see
Yeah,
how I go.
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, if Manny gets a hat trick, I'm gonna be fucking pissed off if I don't go for him because I'm pretty much banking on him not doing well. Which is
I
difficult.
definitely think look at the like Liverpool's fixtures is so good coming up.
I know it's so scary. I would actually settle for having Robbo and Trent only, but yeah, it's difficult. Crystal Palace, Brighton, Everton, Bournemouth, Watford, and then by the time 18 comes around, City fixtures swing
Yeah, exactly.
and the fixture swing for Son and friends. So it's not even an issue bringing them in. But yeah, no, that's all we've got time for. It's been a good 45 minutes. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Finally getting you on. I hope you had a good
My
time.
pleasure. Yeah, it was good. Enjoyed that.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for coming on and having a laugh with us. I hope you had a good drink and a good time. If there's anything else, I'm sure Andy's DMs are open. You can ask him directly, specifically to rate your teams as well.
My DMs are certainly not open because that is all you get.
All right, awesome. And go and if you haven't already, then you're a twat. Go subscribe to Andy and me or whatever. You know the chat. Thank you very much, Andy, for coming on, and we'll speak to you next time. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, catch you soon.
Bye. And that's us.
Nice.